3, 2, 1. Oh, you bit me. Oh, you bit my toe. Oh, you bit my poor toe. That's not fair. I didn't try and hurt you, did I? That was a quote from the sequel series to Kimba, Leo the Lion, 1966. Great voice acting dub. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast.
Bizarre. Very bizarre. I'm Ralph from youtube.com/Ralph the Movie Maker.
And I'm Alex from IHG.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
How we doing?
I'm a little tired. My voice is a little groggy.
Bit bleedy?
Sleep. Yeah, I
Holidays
had
are
a
coming
nosebleed when I woke up. It was really shitty. The tissues are not in my nose anymore. It's stopped for now. It could start at any moment again, though. So I've got some ready. I just get nosebleeds sometimes. It's unfortunate.
Like an anime character.
Yes, I guess. Why do you associate that with anime, though?
Is that not like an anime trope where like they see something and then they get the nosebleed thing?
I guess.
Someone in the comments is going to back me up on this. I swear.
No,
that's an
yeah, I
anime
know what
thing.
you mean. I don't know if I associate that with anime because I don't watch a lot of anime, so
Right.
that might be why. But I've seen that before for sure in like memes on the internet, like other animated stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some exciting news.
It's exciting.
Literally
I can't wait.
everyone is going to be in the Spider-Man 3 Marvel movie.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the exciting news.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
exciting.
so all of the Spider-Mans, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, is it Mary Jane also?
Oh,
Who
I
else
don't
is going to
know.
be in it now?
Because you can never, like, you have to independently research each of these because so many people are making memes about it.
Yeah.
it's like-
Yeah, it's out of control now.
You don't know
Yeah,
which ones
so
are
you
real
don't even know
anymore,
which
but
ones
at
are real.
least
Okay.
at least Toby and at least Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, we'll just see then. Yeah, it's speculation, most of it, I bet.
Yeah, to me the important one is Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina, though.
Is Willem Dafoe actually in it?
Well, I saw an article saying they're trying to get him. I don't think it's confirmed. Yeah,
Mhm.
it might be confirmed by the time this episode goes up. But
Okay.
please, you can't recast him. He's too perfect.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I don't know what kind of script they're gonna have. They probably have something where like they don't even need all of these characters in the script, and they'll just put in whoever they can get. Right?
Mhm.
They might not
I
even
dunno.
need to recast. What's crazy is that there was an episode of this podcast where I was saying that I would love for that sort of thing to happen. And then
Yeah, I remember.
a few hours later, after we recorded it on that day, then articles started coming out speculating it. I was like, fuck. But the episode hadn't published yet. But I was thinking
so
about
there's no
that at
proof.
11 a.m. on Monday of whichever that week was. And then it started happening. And it was really weird. I'm connected to the Spider-Verse.
You're connected to Marvel.
Yeah, it's my spirit animal.
It's your jam. Your Marvel YouTube channel.
Yeah. You know how I do all my reviews dressed up in like some Star Wars costume or something? That's not even Marvel. That's just Disney. Did I say my brain was
Yeah,
mush
get it
today
right,
and I
dude.
didn't sleep?
Yeah, and it's voiceover anyway. So you could be recording and
Oh, yeah.
Marvel stuff all the
Exactly.
time. We just want to know, yeah.
Famous Marvel character Boba Fett.
I was just asking, do we know if or when this is coming out? Because it's a lot of speculation, and I don't even know if there's a script or like anything.
I don't know. Like,
Is there a set date for this?
what was
or-
the amount of time between the first two?
I can look at Disney's list.
John
They
Watts,
probably have a
Spider-Man.
list coming out.
Oh yeah, they did create like a big list of things. They said they were going to scale back Star Wars, and then now they're announcing like a bazillion Star Wars things.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
tens of projects.
And it probably has to do with the success of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
At which point, there must have been some sort of meeting at Disney where they realized, wait a minute, it's not the franchise that was bad, but it was the scripts, the directors. What?
Our decisions?
It's not just the franchise itself that people were disinterested in. What? Fuck off. Crazy. Just how stupid they are.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Do you find it funny how for this third Spider-Man movie, do you remember when the first Spider-Man 3 came out, it was kind of like the joke that it was too packed full of shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's kind of why it fell apart. And now we're
Mhm.
hearing about this third Spider-Man, and it's like that on steroids with every possible character ever returning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, it'll be interesting, fun sort of thing for sure. When I was speculating about this sort of thing, my dream scenario would be something like this, but not directed by John Watts. So it doesn't seem
Yeah,
like I'm
that
going to
is a
get what I
shame.
want, because every bit of nostalgia that I have for the original Spider-Man trilogy is very much because of Sam Raimi, not just Tobey Maguire. It's not just the actors, right? It's the presentation, it's the style, it's the mood, it's the tone. I'm not a huge fan of the John Watts Spider-Man movies. I feel like the shot composition, cinematography is just so bland, right?
It's the weakest thing about them, yeah.
Yeah, and whereas like in the Raimi trilogy, it's like the most important part, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most defining
Yeah,
trait.
it makes sense to have like frenetic direction with a frenetic character like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, but it's news. They're bringing back the guy that said, "Hey, you stole my pizza." Or something.
Wait,
They're not really. There's just too many memes.
was that a real one or a meme
No,
one?
it's just
'Cause I
memes.
want that guy back.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
him back too.
They're bringing back Stan Lee from the grave.
Oh no.
I got this release schedule up here
Oh, yeah?
for Disney. Yeah, it's apparently
Oh, what
supposed to
have you
come
got?
out next year.
The Spider-Man?
Like the Spider-Man movie.
What?
The end of 2021.
The movie to save cinema.
Yeah, the movie to save cinema. They'll probably push it back.
Seems like everybody will just be back for one scene or some shit. I don't know. It'll be like a cameo appearance.
There's also like another Thor movie. You know, they're planning that.
Yay.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, like I don't know.
More Thor.
I agree with what you're saying. The Spider-Man movies are kind of whatever.
Yeah.
At this point.
It doesn't matter how many nostalgic actors you throw into it. Like, just seems like a
Mhm.
gimmick.
Yeah.
It's not going to
And
really
we just had a
affect the movie.
perfect Spider-Verse movie.
Exactly, right? If you did like a sequel to Spider-Verse where those characters were back into it, I would prefer that in the Spider-Verse franchise than in the John Watts Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah, it would just make more sense too.
Yeah. People like live action though. They make more money off the real actors being there, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
The National Film Registry,
Yeah,
Added-
real cinema.
yeah, they added some classics like Shrek.
Well, they added Clockwork Orange.
They just added Clockwork
Grease.
Orange?
Yeah, sometimes it
fuck?
takes a while.
Yeah, it's sometimes, wow.
Grease, like that's that took a while. Some movies are recent. They just added The Hurt Locker. That's pretty recent.
Interesting.
I think the minimum is the minimum is 10 years for the movie to be added.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knight was a big one.
Shrek, yeah, Shrek,
The Dark
that's about
Knight makes
20 years.
sense.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. It shows that Shrek had a lasting impact.
But yeah, Shrek has been memed so hard, people forget the qualities of that original movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys want to explain what it is briefly? The National Film Registry.
Do
I mean,
you?
it's an American thing.
It's your country.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's just a historical record of important films that had some kind of cultural significance.
Yeah.
Kind of like preserving it for history.
It's like if the government said these are the good movies.
Kind of. Yeah. These are the ones you should watch. Yeah.
It seems to be a bit more about like preservation than anything, or at least
Yeah.
that's what I gather from it.
Yeah.
So I guess they probably have like original film reels, and I guess that they probably like routinely make copies of them, like if it is film, or maybe it's probably all digitized now.
Yeah, there'll be some backup process.
I'm wondering if they pay the film companies for this, or if they're just allowed to do it because it's the government.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 800 films in it, apparently.
Only 800?
Yeah, I don't know how long they've been doing this.
Damn.
It started in a late, 1989.
Okay.
Early 90s, basically.
And
Okay.
is there like a set
Not too
amount
long
that
then.
they add every year, or
It doesn't seem like it.
so they can just add them whenever?
Yeah.
And they only have, what did you say, 800?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, according to this independent article I'm reading, it stands at about 800, sorry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot they need to add on there, of course.
Yeah.
But it's just the films they think are the most important. Some movies,
Shrek.
they weren't even that big when they came out, and then, now they've been recognized on this list.
Mm-hmm. I think that even if Shrek was just a meme and there were no other good qualities, I think it should be on the National Film Registry.
Agreed.
Right? It's like a
Yeah.
cultural impact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I believe like Pixar films are on there.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever get like a Neil Breen film there? Okay, so like Tommy Wiseau, The Room is like a culturally impactful film.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll include that though.
Exactly, they won't, but that'd be really
It's
interesting.
so bad, it's good film. It's like an interesting subgenre, yeah.
You can make a case for
Definitely
it,
had
yeah.
an impact, but I don't know. It's a bit of a bad movie.
It's such a big movie that there was another movie made about the making of the movie, right?
Yeah.
That alone.
That
that movie was successful.
I mean, that's more of a real film. Yeah, that's a real film.
Yeah. So I think you could definitely make a case for The Room being on the National Film Registry. Do they have to be American
Clerks
films?
is on there.
Probably, right?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
Oh, really? We should find out if there are any non-American films on there. Tell us in the comments section what film you think should be added to the National Film Registry.
Shrek the
Let
Third.
us know.
King Kong 2005. That'd be funny they add that one and they don't have the 33 one. Is there a way to just search for them?
Yeah, I wish there was. I don't know if the Lord of the Rings films are on here. If not, they totally should be, you know.
Mm-hmm. It'd be great if they just had like a shitty sequel to a movie and not the movie itself.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that.
I want to know what dictates these decisions. Or like who's working there, you know?
Yeah. Might be a vote.
It's a secret organization. Anyway, in other news, I guess before we start talking about a movie, there's a Twitter account called Noise, and it's a marketing account for Chaos Walking, and it's very stupid and silly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. You just sent it to me. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, what is this? It's for Chaos Walking.
Yeah, it's a
What the
verified
hell?
account. It has 1,500 followers, which
You can't escape.
speaks volumes to just how easy it is for a company to get a Twitter account verified rather than an actual person.
Yeah.
That last tweet there. Do you guys want to hear my hot take?
And then what does that say?
Boat scene. I can't read it because of the stupid like text thing they've
Yeah,
done.
see,
Boat scene rights.
I don't know what that says. So you know that stupid fucking text that's like creepy text where it goes like up and down further than it should on the screen? That's basically this whole Twitter account, and it's really lame because this shit is so old. And despite whoever's operating this Twitter account, I guess role-playing as the Noise from the upcoming disaster Chaos Walking, they're tweeting about like
What's the
Beyonce
Beyonce tweet
and
about?
shit. Yeah, like it's. Let me see if I can find
This is
that.
very funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see the Chaos Walking clip. So yeah, it's totally.
Imagine being afraid of Grammy Award-winning Beyonce because a song makes noises, which is what a song is supposed to make.
There's like fake Twitter accounts following it and leaving comments. They're like fans of Chaos Walking.
Yeah.
Like fake Chaos Walking fans. Like, no way.
There's two popular people in it.
So someone was paid to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've between November 16th and December 10th, they've made like, I don't know, 20 tweets or something. And this is not even, it seems. And this is just like a marketing account that's verified for Chaos Walking. And now it's like I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, are they marketing this as like a scary thing now? Are there supposed to be scary elements in this film? Because they're like heavily
They're
implying
clearly grasping
it
at
here.
straws.
It's a little bit of everything.
I guess so.
But why would you tweet about Beyonce and like something about a dog? I saw some really weird stuff on here.
It's just the inner monologue of a male operating the Twitter account. Because in the movie, it's like you can hear men's thoughts. Although, if you really wanted to do the roleplay of this properly, you'd just be tweeting like every fucking 2 seconds. Have something new. Just literally type out your thoughts. The tweet.
Yeah, at least go in if you're gonna do something like this. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so half-assed.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is such a fake account. Yeah. This
Fake
this
account?
follower, it's like this one. Like they made it 2 months ago.
Oh, you're looking at.
Like one of the followers of that Chaos
Okay.
Walking Noise account, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like totally like there are no fans of this movie.
You're listening to one right now. Okay? It's not even out
It's
yet. I'm
ironic,
excited. I'm
yeah.
hyped.
It's so funny. Yeah. Noise. It's so dated, that kind of marketing tactic.
What's funny is I've probably advertised this movie to a greater degree than that Twitter account. I've brought the movie to more people.
That trailer's funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I bet that helped a little.
When are we going to have the pleasure of watching that again? Early next year?
Supposedly January, and it seems like they're not going to release it digitally. That it'll be a theater-only experience because it's so important.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's that
Really?
important. I need to go to a theater with a mask. I'll probably have to drive like a few hours to see it, but that's fine. It's totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Everybody, stay tuned for the movie event of the century.
It'll come out on VOD at some point.
Exactly.
That's the movie
Where?
that will save cinema,
Who's making it? Like, is it going on
Lionsgate.
HBO Max or Line? Okay, like what is that?
Oh, do they have a streaming platform? I don't think so. It'll probably. I don't know. I'm like. They could sell it to Netflix.
They're just gonna put it up on Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah, I thought it already was a Netflix thing, but I guess not.
I don't think anyone wants it.
Yeah, they don't want it. It was supposed to be released like 3 years ago.
The noise wants it.
Yeah.
And their fake followers.
They hired someone to make a marketing Twitter that's only posted like less than 20 tweets in the past month. So we all saw a film that wasn't the official recommendation, but it was something that came out anyway, called Sound of Metal. I almost said Sound of Noise or Sound of Music. There's too many Sound of movies.
Yeah.
It's got Riz Ahmed and the girl from Ready Player One.
Olivia Cook.
Yeah.
So I knew I recognized her.
I know, right?
She had the
It was
red
like
mark on
halfway
her
through the movie
face,
where it was like, holy shit, it's the same. Couldn't recognize her without her ugly makeup. 'Cause she's so ugly with that birthmark.
Right. Yeah, that was bad. But this movie was awesome, though.
Yeah.
I was really, really enthralled by this. I really like these music movies or taking any sense and using it as like a jumping off point for some kind of story, and the irony of like a drummer losing his hearing and just the way they present it and the way sound is used in the movie itself. I just thought was such an original and unique way of doing it, because a lot of the time when these sensory movies are kind of approached, it can tend to be more kind of gimmicky or more, for like horror or scary kind of vibes, but they kind of went way more for a serious drama, like, and really followed through with the characters, and it was just purely about the effect on this man and how it kind of tears his life apart. And it's a story of like inner peace and how he comes to deal with it at the end, and I really connected with it. I really like inner peace kind of movies like that. And yeah, what did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought of Whiplash immediately because the drummer thing, but it becomes like a different movie very early on.
Yeah,
I like that.
I was glad it didn't like really lean on that side of it. I thought there was going to be way more of him kind of like resisting, and loads of scenes of him like still playing in the band and like not coming to terms with it, but it moves on from that fairly quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Riz Ahmed's really good in it too.
He's
the best thing about it. Yeah. I thought the film was great. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought Olivia Cook probably wasn't as excellent as Riz Ahmed was. I think there were some scenes where she didn't like totally deliver for me. Like I wasn't just buying her. Like there's a scene where she's like leaving, like going into a taxi, and like the amount of crying, it just wasn't like convincing. It just wasn't as much as I think she would be in like that kind of situation. And then I think the use of sound in it, where you kind of go into his point of view and you hear like, it's like muted or it's muffled.
It seemed like they really put their research in,
Yeah, it sounds good, but I think they did lean on that a bit too much. And I actually would have preferred a more objective look at the story and just kind of seeing him kind of function and we hear the sound. I think if they used it more sparingly, it would have been have a bit more of a punch when they used it. Because there are some points where they use that it is pretty effective toward the end, and I just wish they used it a bit less, a little bit less.
I really enjoyed that aspect.
The like perspective sound stuff, is that weird?
Yeah, the perspective sound stuff where you would kind of cut to his his hearing.
I was actually thinking the opposite, although it would be a completely different movie if it was the way that I was thinking. I was thinking like of what a crazy opportunity it would be if literally the entire movie was the sound from his perspective. Like the moment that he loses his hearing, you never hear it again as an audience member. The moment he puts on, I guess, let's not spoil the movie, or let's just say spoiler warning, spoiler discussion, everybody. The moment he puts on the implant or whatever, and everything becomes distorted for us as audience members to hear only that the rest of the movie, I think that would have been insane. I think that would have been like a crazy movie that I would have really loved. I like this movie a lot either way, although it would be completely different and probably much less accessible to
it would
average
be much less
moviegoers.
accessible.
Yeah.
But it's like in the middle, it's halfway, and I don't think that's great quality.
No?
I would have preferred it one way or the other.
I really liked that aspect of it, because we're in spoilers, I guess, a huge part of the movie is him kind of trying to gather money so he can get these implants, which is in his head his great fix for his problem, because he sees it as a problem that he needs to fix, and that's kind of his arc in the movie. But when he does eventually get those implants, and the way there's that whole scene where he comes to the realization of how, oh, this isn't actually quite the dream fixed solution, like that's going to solve all my problems, that maybe it really is. So then when you hear the way it sounds from his perspective, and the way the doctor's kind of describing how it's not really fixed it's kind of tricking his brain into thinking it, and just the struggle he has in like the party, and how it's a really that kind of torturous scene for him, and just watching his acting as he's like going through it, I found that really, really gripping, especially the way they did it, because it really puts you in his perspective and makes you understand what he's going through, because it really is his movie and it's all from his perspective. So I liked that, the way they played with sound in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never leaves his perspective either. So it's very consistent in that way. Like the entire movie just focused on this one character, essentially. Really great cast, I thought, aside from the main two. There's the guy who's like a James Bond villain. I forgot the actor's name.
Yes, the French guy.
He's like in Quantum of Solace.
Mathieu Amalric?
Yeah.
You can't. Oh man, I don't associate him with that at all. I know that he's played those characters, but like neither of you have seen something like Diving Bell and the Butterfly, right?
No.
Oh, it's an amazing movie. He's in that. Like, I don't associate him with Bond villain or whatever. Like, so shit. He's really good though. Fuck.
He's a good Bond villain. He's a good Bond villain too.
The scene with him was very good. There's a lot of heavy scenes in the movie, obviously, because it's just about events that completely throw your life off track. So it's
that's a scene where I liked the more objective, like how we just hear it normal, you know, because at that point he has the implants in, and he's just trying to have a normal conversation with Olivia Cook's father in the movie, and you know, you don't really know what he's hearing, but he's able to like decipher it enough to have a normal conversation. And I thought that was like, I thought that made it an interesting scene, you know, like, oh, he's able to kind of function again, like in this way. With these things, like try to have a normal, just like a conversation at a table with someone. I like that objective point of view. But then there's like the scene afterward where they're performing on the piano, and that's one scene where I thought like the use of the audio distortion was like really important.
Yeah, it's like necessary information. Yeah, and it slowly kind of fades in. Yeah, and it shows like this character, like, oh, his life isn't the same. It's kind of, I guess, more pointing that out by having the sound fade that in, or fade in that way. Yeah.
And it all comes together so cleanly at the end, with him accepting the silence and finding his peace, like this mentor kind of character says earlier on. I just loved the integration of all the sign language, and how he goes from being completely isolated when it's first affecting him and he can't communicate with anyone really, and just him coming to terms with that, and the tragedy of that whole thing too, where he kind of doesn't really listen to the advice of those people, and
I like that mentor character.
Yeah, there's a really good scene with them when he kind of rejects him and turns him away. And
they talk about like the stillness. I think he says it's like stillness, and I think that's what he feels at the end, like a sense of peace.
Because he can't be with himself. He can't come to terms with his own trauma.
His
He's always
situation.
trying to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. He keeps trying to fight it the whole movie.
Yeah,
and it would have just been much easier to just kind of accept.
That's why
it.
that final shot where it's just complete silence is so powerful to me. Anyway, it's a great conclusion.
I did expect more of a Whiplash movie from the
really?
poster.
Oh, just from
I was a bit from like the poster and like the marketing. I'm like, Sound of Metal. I'm like, is this gonna? And then it was just like, oh shit, yeah, it was pretty like dark drama, which I did like, but
it's very
to focus on that element. Yeah,
distressing.
It was definitely Whiplash. It's like Whiplash is one of the comparables for it. Like, oh, people see this because it's like.
Oh, like so just for marketing, I guess.
Yeah, just from a marketing perspective.
It's a very
people like
movie.
seeing like things. Yeah, it's a very different movie. But I wonder if if an executive would have even looked at it with that, like, oh, it's about drumming. People will watch it. They like Whiplash.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, like I guess you like to sell your movie. You don't really market like a depressing and stressful character self-exploration film, right?
Yeah.
Losing his hearing. Yeah. It's deaf. Yeah.
Have you seen there's a movie called It's All Gone, Pete Tong? Very similar premise. No. It's a DJ that loses his hearing. Really good movie, but they're going for completely different tones. It's All Gone, Pete Tong. There is the element of like self-discovery in it, but it's more of like a zany kind of like it's way more comedic. It's more like it's almost kind of like crazy, like a Train Spotting type movie almost.
Oh, cool.
Whereas this one is more of like a really, I guess, more like introspective, very kind of bleak. But this one also, Sound of Metal also focuses more on like the deaf community, which is something that this film does really well. I feel like it tackles the serious elements a lot better too. Because, when It's All Gone, Pete Tong starts to get more serious, it feels like just not as good as the silly parts. Whereas this one, Sound of Metal, it's all about the serious parts, and it does those things really, really well.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of tenderness. Like I really like the scene with the kids. Apparently, a lot of that was improvised, with him like drumming on the slide and feeling the vibrations.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
It's really, really cool with stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of these actors are just regular deaf people.
Yeah, no, I think the majority of them were. I think Riz Ahmed even, for part of filming, had like blockers in his ears or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think for the full filming, because I think he found it a bit difficult and found it easier to act without them.
Yeah.
But
right, and the camera would
to
see
take
it
notes
too.
from the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was very convincing how he played that part, the deaf parts. Yeah, because I was imagining like, oh yeah, he can hear, obviously, because he's not that, but he's acting. But yeah, he seemed very convincing. Yeah, there's that scene he's losing it in the RV.
Yeah, you can really feel like his character going through this emotionally. You can really see like him break down as an individual.
Well, yeah, and on that note, I really felt this kind of nervousness and tension kind of building, because they kind of tease that he has a past struggling with drugs, and he's clearly a tortured soul in ways. So that was always in the back of my mind, like, oh no, where could this go? And I'm glad it doesn't go to the obvious, like, 13 Reasons Why, like, drama points it could do. Like, I was imagining,
it's much more subtle.
Yeah, I was imagining like him when he goes back to his girlfriend, there's like another guy in the bed, stuff like that would have kind of taken some of the punch away. It's way more realistic and kind of intimate in that way.
There's like a choice he makes early on, because he's already he knows he's losing his hearing, but he continues to drum anyway. And they keep things like that, choices, vague. So it's not really like, and there's a lot of things like that, like his backstory. It makes his character more interesting. He's not really spelling out like how he's going insane or why he does these things. It's just like, you just believe his character. And Riz Ahmed's the glue that holds the whole thing together, I thought. He's just so great.
Such a great performer.
He basically carries the whole movie.
Yeah.
Everything else, every other element I thought was pretty good. But he was just excellent.
Yeah, it's definitely his movie.
Yeah. He's not as good as in Venom, but maybe a little bit better.
Venom. Yeah. I was like looking through his IMDb and I was just forgetting some of the great stuff he's been in. Sisters Brothers, Nightcrawler, The Night Of. I really like.
Yeah, Sisters Brothers.
Yeah.
Night Of is a very good show too.
Four Lions, even with comedic chops. I mean, he's really talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems like it might get like some sort of a Oscar nom, maybe.
Yeah, awards recognition. I was wondering how that worked, because first of all, I believe it was released last year, 2019, in some kind of
It's like a festival thing.
Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Usually they count. This is like
and
a
it came out
2020
this
movie.
year. Obviously, because of what's going on, it just came out on VOD. I think most people just watched it recently on VOD. But I would like the Oscars to consider it at this point. I mean, I don't even know what they watch. I don't know what their stream of movies is. Yeah, it's just so weird. I don't know how it's going to work or what they're going to count as a movie. Or yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
but it's a good film. He definitely deserves some kind of award recognition, at least a nomination for Zahmed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, everyone else was pretty good. Like I thought Olivia Cook was just like whatever. I thought she could have done, like she was just fine. I feel like someone else could have made it much. Yeah, someone else could have made it much more interesting, and I would have liked the film to focus much more on her too, because there's a lot of like stuff going on with her that's like, okay, what's exactly going on with her? Where is she right now?
Yeah, she kind of just left.
The film is a bit short. I guess it's good to leave people wanting more, but it could have been a bit longer. I would have preferred an over 2 hour long movie.
Oh, really?
Because I was enjoying the character that much. Yeah.
I didn't have any issues with the length.
Yeah, but like we have mini series that kind of flesh out characters a bit more than this kind of movie, and it's like okay, if this really wants to be a 5-star movie or like a 9, then we could have like really delved into Olivia Cook's character and made the film a bit longer. I don't know, because I was really enjoying it.
It wasn't really about her.
I didn't feel it was dragging at all. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it wasn't about her, right?
I liked the pace actually. I liked the length. For being Riz Ahmed's story, I think it works with it's a complete story, a complete package, and the Olivia Cook stuff's more. There's a lot more implied stuff with the dad and everything, and the suicide of her mum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this was directed by Darius Marder. Who,
he wrote
his debut,
Place Beyond the Pines.
He wrote Place Beyond the Pines with some other people. Apparently, he's directed a documentary before this called Loot in 2008 that nobody saw. So yeah, this is basically his directorial debut. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah,
I liked the first third of Place Beyond the Pines. So.
Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that's like 3 movies, isn't it, in one, basically?
Yeah, and one of them is really great. And then they just get more boring as it goes along.
Yeah.
It was very ambitious.
It feels similar to that. Sound of Metal's much better, I think. It's much more consistent.
Yes.
Yeah, more concise.
Yeah.
All right. What would you give
curious
this
what he's going to do next.
Out of 10?
Oh, yeah.
Or 5?
Out of 10? I'll do both. Out of 5, it's like 4 out of 5. So 8 out of 10. Yeah, Riz Ahmed's great. So see it just for him.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ralph. This is a 4-star for me. Really enjoyed it. Just anything Riz Ahmed is in, I'm just into his performance. He's got such an intensity to him, especially Venom. I'd really recommend checking this out, especially it's on Amazon, so hop on.
And I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. It's closer to an 8 than a 6. We'll see what happens on my next viewing, but I liked it a lot. I would recommend it to everybody. It's really great. Thought it was dank.
Nice.
All right, and I guess now it's time for the actual movie discussion. It was recommended to us.
The real one?
By Ralph.
Yeah. Sound of Metal's a real movie.
I mean, but this is the actual discussion, though.
Yeah, this is the actual discussion that everyone's been waiting for. It's called Bicycle Thieves. From the year 1948. The Italian name Ladri di Biciclette.
Okay.
Biciclette? Yeah, I guess so. Films that, so I enjoyed it a lot, obviously. This is a spoiler discussion.
Yes.
It's part of the, I guess there's, we talked about French New Wave before, or we've mentioned it, I think, at some point. This is like an Italian New Wave, kind of a more naturalistic, more about the people of Italy, shot on the street. It had a very natural feel. It was about Italian things going on at the time. There's like poverty, themes of poverty in the movie. So yeah, I just wanted to recommend it because I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Even though it's a short movie, I thought it was very powerful, and I liked it a lot. I think it's a very important Italian movie. So, and there's a Criterion of it as well, right?
Yes.
I think so,
Cool.
yeah.
Is that how you guys watched it?
No, I used the internet because my Criterion wouldn't have shown up in time.
Okay.
Yeah, in the UK, it's on an Amazon subsidiary streaming thing called like Mubi or something. It's like the art film thing.
I know.
So lucky it was on there, so I could. Yeah.
There's so many weird ones.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure people. It's like a very historically, important movie. So you could probably find it on like some streaming service. Yeah, some like art house one. Maybe not Disney Plus. Not something like that. But you guys liked it?
I did.
I really liked it.
It won me over by the end of it. I wasn't completely digging it in the first like 20 minutes or so. Just like I didn't really feel like the tone of the score was like justified throughout. It was weird.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like a really sappy music, and I wasn't like super interested in things that were happening, but it started picking up and I really enjoyed it. And I guess when the film started out, I was mostly concerning myself with like, there's this understanding that something is like a classic historical film. It's like the number 100 on the top 250 on IMDb also. And I was just like, what's in this that justifies that? But then by the end of it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I really enjoyed the kid's acting, for sure. I think that he was the best part.
He was the standout to me.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent.
Very simple
really enjoyed
story.
all the performances.
Very effective.
I think especially for the time, like compared to a Hollywood movie, everything seemed pretty like kind of like a drama you would watch today in terms of acting. It was very believable. Like the characters weren't exaggerated at all. It wasn't really theater acting. And there were no instances, I think, in this movie of like dated acting. I thought it was all really believable. And nothing felt like a set. It all felt real. And like even the corporation of weather and other elements that made things very complicated. Lots of extras.
Yeah, it almost seemed like a documentary at points. It was so kind of believable and realistic.
It reminded me of Roma. Like, it's just a drama, but the actual, like, integration of the sets and, like, the set pieces almost made it so, like, interesting to watch. Like, wow, it's just two people talking, but this is fucking awesome. The complexity of this cinematography.
The scale of the production I found very impressive. With the way Rome was so packed with so many extras and people, it was bustling, and like the scene where they go to the market with all the bike pieces, and there's just so much going on. It's so complicated, and the way it's coordinated is so impressive to me. Yeah, that's what was really keeping me going, because I was a bit there with you, Adam, at first in the same way, where it was I'm not emotionally connecting with this beyond just how impressive I'm finding this movie, but towards the end, when the title comes into play more with because I was really confused with, when I was always reading the name as Bicycle Thief, and I'd seen it written as Bicycle Thief before. And apparently that comes from some mistranslation in the 90s or something that stuck around, and then it was flipped back to Thieves because it being translated from Italian and whatnot. But when in that last section where the lead character attempts to steal the bike and the story kind of comes full circle, and you see the way that drama concludes, that really gave the story a lot of emotional resonance for me. And just seeing like the kid seeing his dad fall to such lows, and just the misery that this situation has forced the character into. It's really heartbreaking and powerful stuff.
It's definitely a film that's like building up to the climax, which is that scene. Like it's all built up to that, and that scene's awesome. I agree with what you guys are saying. Kind of the first 20 minutes, it takes a while to start. It's slow paced, but once I think it really gets going. I thought the pacing was pretty brisk, and it's
I found it actually very brisk.
Yeah. I like the characters a lot. Like you said, the child performances are really good. A lot of crying.
A lot of arguing.
It's really convincing.
A lot of arguing. Yeah, it is.
I felt so sorry for all the kids in the movie, because of course it was shot in the 40s, and you know, children were treated in a pretty different way to the way they are now. So there's lots of like kids like crying, being smacked and I love when the kid actor he like falls in the puddle or whatever, and the way just his acting, the way he's like running his hands down his clothes, getting the water off. It just seems so genuine and so believable. And I really liked that kid actor, and I thought he was brilliant.
A lot of brilliance in this movie.
It feels very authentic, especially like just with the coordination of like extras in any environment. You only really think of like the two actors as like actors, and then everybody else just seems like a regular person like going about their day sort of thing.
Right. It's like everyone has their own lives going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing that was carrying me through it was just the historical aspect of it, just seeing Rome in the 40s, because a lot of it was obviously shot on location. Like apparently there's even a shot where the little kid almost gets hit by a couple cars, and it's like not planned. So seeing all the old, all the old clothing and cars and everything is fascinating from that kind of perspective too.
Yeah.
There was a moment that I was like kind of confused by, where it looked like the kid was about to like piss on a wall or something, and I didn't really understand what was happening.
Oh yeah.
Like, what was he doing?
Oh yeah.
Is that what it was? That the implication there?
I assumed he was going to pee or something.
Maybe.
It was a really weird moment. I didn't
were a
really
few
get what was
moments.
happening. Whatever. Doesn't matter too much. I liked when he just gave his kid wine. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
wine.
it's a very
The
European
Italians,
thing, eh?
Yeah, they love wine.
Get your kid drunk.
Yeah, it's different in Italy. They don't want to get the kid drunk. It's just you can have some wine.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel
it's
like
the
everyone could do a
40s.
bit of wine after World War II. Yeah.
yeah, everyone drinks wine there. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And wine's actually not that bad for you. Wine's good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, don't drink too much wine, but wine's pretty good for you. If you have a glass of wine a day, you'll be fine. You
Yeah.
might be better.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what a lot of Italians do.
Yeah. A glass of Everclear a day.
There is a scene they're reading, yeah, and there is wine, which is great. It's very Italian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really well filmed overall. The one part that it didn't look great was the like projector background in the vehicle sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
Again,
yeah.
that's like a
Yes.
that's like a dated thing. But-
Yeah, that was my only. But to go back to the food,
Sure.
he like the lines like he looks over like a rich family and there's like a rich snobby kid eating something, right? And it's like to eat like that you need to make 10 times what we make. I'm like, what you're eating is pretty fucking good
It did
though.
look good,
Mhm.
Like I was looking at what they were eating.
Mozzarella
it's fucking
sandwich.
like delicious. Yeah, it's like delicious. Yeah, mozzarella. It was like fried mozzarella. I'm like, Yeah, you see like the cheese like ooze out.
Yeah.
That's fucking good. Like Italian food.
like stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some good
It was
stuff.
awesome.
Basically an entire sequence dedicated towards stretchy cheese.
Right. And he's
Shot
eating
after
like some
shot.
pasta dish or something. Oh, like, oh, that's good. And they're drinking wine too.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like it's a good day. Yeah, like you guys are doing fine.
For the moment. The
Yeah,
scene
for the
ends
moment.
really like kind of sadly though. As in like you can see like the father like break down when he's like trying to distract himself
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the situation. Like that's pretty much why they're there.
Exactly.
And then just reality sets back in.
The end of the movie is brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
love
a
it.
tragedy. No, that's what makes it so powerful, I think. So you have that hope the whole time that maybe he'll manage to get it back, but of course he doesn't, because that's not really the way the world works with this kind of stuff, especially post-World War II, where it's just complete chaos with crime and stuff like that, and trying to keep on top of it, and just with how organized. And when he does find the kid eventually, who originally stole the bike, and all of his guys kind of stand up for him, and there's just nothing the single man can do against the group of, the group that the kid was a part of a community of,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of inspires him to be like, well, maybe I can do that then if it's that easy to get away with.
Yeah.
And
You can't beat him.
leading into that final scene. Yeah, it's the two wrongs don't make a right thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's so desperate at that point. How poverty, drives desperation and crime, like in Italy, and how, it's just like it's an endless cycle. It just makes it worse.
And it's not even like there's a mustache twirling villain even. It's just like,
No,
Exactly.
it's just they're a victim of circumstance.
no,
Yeah,
it's just like that's the way it is. Like that's the way the world is, right? And like they're actually let off scot-free relatively at the end. The guy lets him go. Like, yeah, I don't want to press charges, and lets him off.
Just
but
demoralized.
he shows that just demoralized. But that relatively is a happy ending compared to what could have happened.
True.
Yeah.
But you're just left there. He's just worse off than he is at the beginning. He doesn't get the bike back. He's probably going to lose his job because he needed the bike to keep it.
Yeah, they pawned all their shit to get that bike, so they have even less now.
Yeah.
It's almost like in a different movie, this would be the first third of it story-wise, and then there would be some way that he would fix everything by the end of it, but nope.
But there is no way to fix it. Yeah, you can't fix the world.
Yeah. Well, you never know what happens to this character after the movie ends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's many different possibilities.
Yeah, he could have been okay.
Yeah. But I guess just the film itself is just telling that part of the story, which I think is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's proving that point. Like, that's where the story needs to end, you know?
And I like that it doesn't end with him, like, going to jail or something.
Yeah, I like that, too. I think that would have been a little too far in the other direction of morbidity, or whatever you want to call it. It's just too, it's too sad. The kids, it was already pretty sad. If it was Ari Aster, he would have done that. And then he would have gotten murdered. He would have gotten some piano wire.
Putting a bear,
Yeah, putting a bear lit on fire.
All right. That was a very enjoyable recommendation, Ralph.
Did it make you cry?
No. Nothing makes me
Apparently
cry.
made some people on Reddit cry.
Yeah. No, it was really emotionally impactful for sure.
Yeah. It's good, like, it's very accessible, I think. I think anyone who watches this would like it.
Yeah.
That's what I like about a lot of Italian cinema. It's like an introduction to all these, like...
Just get past the first 20 minutes.
And I like the first 20 minutes.
I think I'll enjoy it more the next time I watch it. Just like, I didn't know what I was grabbing onto watching it the first time.
I was just thinking, I get what you're saying, but I really enjoy every part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes a while to get into it. I definitely agree. But like in terms of introducing this kind of film movement to like someone, like if you've never seen a kind of European neo-realism movie, this is definitely one of the best ones. Like it's just it's very intimate and like believable, I think.
Yeah, very much.
You don't have to know anything about the backstory to just like, wow, that was a really good drama.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really well done.
And it does move fast and is short, so yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. It's very brisk, and I guess I criticized Sound of Metal. I said it should have been longer. Not that it should have been longer, like it needed to be better movie. But this is one where I thought like the length really, it feels like very tight piece. The themes of it are very clear about poverty and desperation. Yeah, it's just like, okay, point proved, move on. It's very Italian. Doesn't
forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, forget about it.
The simplicity works really well.
I did notice the wrist movements, even from the child. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a very clever movie. It's very well made.
Mm-hmm.
I love the music as well. You said the music was a bit like cheesy. I thought the music's pretty great.
It felt really sappy at the beginning of the movie. Like it complemented it better as it went along, but like, yeah, I wasn't huge into the music like early on. I just felt like a lot of it the tone wasn't justified.
Maybe they were trying to make it seem a bit more hopeful, because that is the point. That's like the everyday in their life. Like, oh, this is supposed to be fine for them, even though, I mean, relatively, it's not great. But at least they have the bike still, or at least they have some amount of wealth at that point.
Well, yeah, because I suppose the start of the movie is the hopeful part, because he manages to actually get the bike and get a job, and it all seems on the up and up. And then after that 20 minutes, when the bike gets stolen, that's when it all starts to spiral.
Mm-hmm. Do. It's like that kind of...
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like the tone of it was really sappy and like borderline generic.
Yeah.
But I know saying generic is a weird thing to say about something in the 40s, because then it's like, I don't have any frame of reference to know, this could have been the first one that did it, and now it sounds generic. Like, I don't know. So, I mean, just... I
would have liked to have been there at the time and kind of got that experience. Just in that mindset, because it is very like after that 20 minutes, it is very the neorealism or whatever kind of goes up. Like it becomes much more of a like that kind of modern day movie. I wonder if at that time people were like, oh, this is a little weird, a little too dark, a little boring.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they might have thought that back then. And then the first 20 minutes are fairly like kind of normal, I think, for that time, more of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the whole thing. I think it's pretty great. I've seen it a few times, and yeah. And the endings too. The climax is the best part.
Agreed.
For sure.
Once you get to that, it's like, once it builds up to that part, you're like, yeah, the whole thing was worth it. Any minor criticism I might have had is this ending justifies the whole thing
Yeah.
existing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And a lot of movies kind of wish they would have something that good, like at the end, and especially compared to like how short the film is, how little we got from these characters and in the amount of time, and yet like I got to know a lot about them and sympathize with them.
Awesome.
And wasn't it a thing where like the little kid was just like plucked off the set when they were filming?
Yeah,
Like a lot of the actors like didn't have experience, so that does help with the the genuine nature of it.
Yeah.
the realism vibe.
The production company adopted him.
Yeah. He's very likable. Everyone was very
Plucked him off
likable.
the street like Naomi Watts.
Yeah, their characters are very friendly, vulnerable. He takes a lot of criticism at the end. I felt very like sorry for him. All those people yelling at him, and he couldn't really do anything about it. There's a lot of like they play up the vulnerable. Yeah, slapping him. They play up the vulnerable qualities of these characters to make you like really sympathize with them. Obviously, a kid. You're gonna sympathize with a kid who has no money. He gets slapped by the guy and he loses his temper. Like, it's just like,
Cleaning bikes at 5
I
in the
really
morning.
actually give a shit about these people. I feel sorry for them. The empathy that they build for these characters it makes it an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of movies have that either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just noticing this other poster for The Bicycle Thief. I never saw it that way. So.
Is it like a different? It's the same movie?
Yeah, that must be what I'm
movie.
talking about. I was getting confused over. Yeah.
Yeah. Very weird.
I went to the kid's IMDb page to see if he was anything else, and that's the picture is just the poster for the bicycle
the bicycle
thief.
thief. Yeah, it's a
right.
ladri di bicicletta. That's ladri is thieves. It's like ladro would be a thief, or so I don't know.
Yeah, it needs to be plural for the title to kind of have more meaning, doesn't
I
it?
guess it spoils it. It could be either way.
I don't know if it
Thieves
spoils it because, like, when you see the group of them, you assume those people are all bicycle thieves.
Yeah.
Like they've got like an operation, so it doesn't really spoil the main character's ending.
Yeah, I never expected it to go that direction.
And then he just like by the end of it, he becomes a part of the title, basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because the movie is really about him.
He's the bicycle thief. What are we, some kind of
It was
bicycle
me.
thieves? Yeah, there's never a line like that.
Why not?
Yeah, there
so
should have
much
been. That would have
better.
made it much better.
And they remake it, don't worry.
This film looks so much better than like Suicide Squad. It came out like 1940s. It's really gorgeous lighting. Even just like the lenses they used. Like I love like the out of focus stuff in the background. Like the blur just looks so good. Like it looked fucking awesome.
I think you'll
Yeah.
find most movies look amazing compared to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that is
True.
like
Not saying this movie doesn't look great, but
yeah.
comparing it to Suicide Squad is a pretty easy comparison.
Anything compared to Suicide Squad, yeah.
Yeah. Jim Carrey's The Mask looks amazing compared to Suicide Squad.
It actually does.
It does. I know, right?
It's a very well framed movie. I can imagine like just watching it with the sound off. I'd still really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. It might get higher on a second watch, but that's what I'm giving it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm torn between a sort of 8 or 9. I did like the simplicity and the realism of it. That check it out on this Mubi thing for anyone in the UK. You get a 7-day free trial, so you can literally watch it for free. So you've got no excuse.
Nice.
Hey, there you go. We should get them to sponsor this.
Yeah, man.
I give Bicycle Thieves a 10 out of 10, or at least a 9. It's definitely at least a 9. I think the Italian. I think I'm a little biased. It's a Cinema
Grazie.
Paradiso feel. Well,
Yeah.
I guess Cinema Paradiso is inspired by this with the kid and projector
True, yeah.
kind of friendship. Yeah, it reminded me of that.
I think this one stuck with me more than Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, I think I prefer.
Yeah, well,
it
this
too.
is definitely a staple of Italian cinema. Yeah, so yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I totally understand why.
I'd probably agree with you. Like objectively, this is probably a better film. It works more as its own. Well, like, because if you don't have a love of cinema or whatever, then Cinema Paradiso, I guess it's still great. Obviously, you can still enjoy those characters. It's not as good as like someone like me enjoying it, because I love movies or whatever, movie theaters or whatever the hell. I have more of a connection to that kind of stuff. This film just works on its own as a drama, very self-contained. All right, so I guess that's Bicycle Thieves. Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Awesome. Okay. Let's do some questions then from the Sardonicast community. If you want to leave your own questions for us to answer in future episodes, head over to the Sardonicast subreddit, where there'll be a suggestion thread. Let's start with this one then from Rosa GB. Have you guys done much traveling outside of your respective countries? Where have you been, and what were your favorite experiences? Are there any places you particularly like to visit in the future, if given the chance, once things are back to normal? Obviously.
Canada's nice.
But you're doing like the American version of Canada, where you just go to like Niagara Falls, and that's it, right? Like, where have you actually been?
That's technically
that's not
Canada.
Going to Canada.
Niagara Falls. That's it. All right. So aside from Canada, I've been to.
Yeah, you went like 20 minutes across the border or some shit to go to a tourist destination. You visited Canada.
Stayed at a Marriott. I went to Mexico, like deep into Mexico, not just like on the, not like New Mexico or Arizona. I went to Italy. Italy was very nice. Yeah, that's about it. The Caribbean islands are cool.
Yeah, I just started getting the travel bug right as
I know, right?
COVID stuff started happening. Like
so annoying.
Yeah, in 2019, I went to Athens, which was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to go. Actually, for my birthday, I had a trip booked to Amsterdam, but obviously that was cancelled because of COVID. So, hoping to get back on that, and I want to go back to New Zealand. I want to go to America, Canada. I want to go. There aren't many places I don't want to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I want to go to the UK at some point, or Europe.
Yeah, it's not the best over here at the moment, but yeah, you should probably see it.
Yeah, definitely not at the moment.
I'd like to just show up there and be like, so this is why people call it a shithole, and then like I'll have that perspective, and then be fine with that,
Yeah, man.
In Italy, I went to Frosinone, Venice, Florence, and Rome.
Oh, awesome.
Rome is kind of dumpy.
Yeah,
a lot
I've
of people. It is like Bicycle Thieves still.
That's funny.
It's like the same shit. Florence was nice. Florence is very nice. Lots of good food. And Venice is nice, but it's sinking. They keep building up.
I know, right?
We saw another
That's
movie.
terrifying.
Don't Look Now. It takes place in Venice. Yeah. The floor was 5 feet lower back then. They keep building up.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. It is terrifying. It'll probably be gone, like, at some point. We'll see.
But you, Adam?
I've been to France. I've been to probably like 6 different states in the U.S., I think, at least. I've been to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, wow.
I went to Spain when I was younger, like 13 or something, like family trip.
Cool.
Do you remember where you went?
In Spain.
Yeah, I think I went to Barcelona when I was like 15.
Yeah, it was somewhere. I don't know. I'd have to ask my
So,
parents.
Alex, you've been to the U.S. before, Alex? Did you say?
I did when I was, I think, 12. Went to California because you have to stop off. To get to New Zealand, you have to stop off either in China or America. So we stopped off in California and stayed in a hotel for a few days.
Cool.
I don't really remember that much because I was so young, but yeah, it seemed cool. All I really remember is in the hotel, like all the crazy cereals that are very colourful compared to what they are here.
Fruit Loops or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just asking what states you'd been to. Yeah, all the states are very different. They're almost like their own countries.
I've been to Texas, Hawaii, Arizona, California, Nevada, Illinois, Montana, probably somewhere else. Washington, so that's 8.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where was Sundance was in Utah.
Okay, 9 then. Yeah, I've been to Utah.
Yeah, it's very. So you've seen like a lot of variety, like Hawaii, Utah, and Illinois.
Yeah,
very
yeah. I
different.
mean, like there's an insane
Yeah.
variety just within my own country too.
Yeah,
and I haven't
that too.
even like explored
Mm-hmm.
everywhere that I possibly could in my country. There's provinces that I haven't been to. There's tons that I haven't done in my own country. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it would be cool to visit Eastern Canada at some point, like Far East Canada, because that's supposed to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Tons of different vibes. There's like a French Canada, isn't that weird? It's just the whole French province.
Yeah, obviously the UK is like probably smaller than like a single state in America, so I've got a few less options in terms of that kind of stuff. So I've seen a lot of the UK. I've never been to Scotland though. Been to Wales a fair bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's alright. Isle of Wight is quite nice.
Isle of Wight?
Yeah, it's like a tiny island off the UK.
Okay.
Just called the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah, I don't think I've been to the UK at all.
I'd like to go to Scotland. I'd like to go to France. I'd like to go to UK. Yeah. Where else? And I'd like to go to a lot of places in Europe. Yeah, Europe seems nice.
Yeah, I would like to go to Germany and I would like to go to South Korea. I know a lot of people like really hype up the whole Japan thing, but I feel like South Korea would be more interesting. I could do Japan someday for sure. But
I do want to go to Japan.
I'd like to go to Japan, definitely. And South Korea. Japan and South Korea. I'd like to go to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
What about Australia?
Australia?
That's so far. It's so far. Fuck that.
It's
even
pretty
there?
hardcore. I'd never felt that kind of heat before.
Yeah.
Like by the Sydney Opera House. I was like suffering. 'Cause it was on the same trip when I was like 12.
I'll do that someday, but like in their winter.
Yeah,
So
and it's the
during our
animals
summer.
too that puts me off so much. Like my auntie like just showed me like a casual black widow and stuff like that, and
Oh yeah.
the dogs getting attacked by snakes and stuff. It's just parrots flying around. It's very odd.
Everything wants to kill you.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam's apparently nice. I'll go there for vacation.
Yeah, we'll see what happens post-COVID. I'm excited to be able to travel again, regardless of how much traveling I actually do.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't miss it till you don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah, I wanted to go to California just like last weekend, but the travel and all that shit, they're closing everything down over there. Restaurants, it just wasn't worth it. I'm like, all right, fuck this.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
cancel the
Forget about
flight. Yeah, I went to Boston instead. Yeah, just going back and forth. It's not even worth traveling. Yeah, there's just so much restriction.
Yeah. In another year or less, maybe? I don't know. Depends.
Yeah, we'll see.
Depends how people are with vaccines, I guess.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
They're rolling it out.
Yeah.
It'll be like I Am Legend.
Exactly.
You know, I'd forgotten about that bloody movie until you said
That
it.
movie sucks too.
Bad.
Will Smith.
I remember finding that was the first 12 I saw at the cinema. Was I Am Legend.
They killed a dog.
Yeah. When I think bad movie endings, I think of that movie.
Will Smith blowing himself up. Spoiler.
There's like an alternate one on the DVD. I
Yeah, and
remember,
it's just
or something.
it seems so much better.
Oh. What's the
Yeah.
other one?
So for context, spoilers for I Am Legend. The shitty ending that we got was Will Smith is like, they're trying to break in to this space over here.
The vampires.
So I'm going to detonate this bomb while you guys go hide in here. And they're like, come hide in here with us. And he's like, no, I won't fit. But it's so obvious that he'll fit. Like, it's like, there's no reason that, like, there's literally no reason at all that he has to sacrifice himself other than to be noble for the audience, right? So he kills himself and that's the end of the movie. But in the original, I don't remember if this was based off a book or a comic or something, or maybe it was just the original. Yeah, the original ending that they had planned but decided not to go with was that he found out that the creatures he'd been fighting this whole time were like, they saw him as the enemy and they were actually smarter than the film led you to believe, and that everything that they were doing throughout the film was more defensive than offensive. And so like he had kidnapped one of them and they were just like trying to get him back, sort of thing. And so he was like, I was the villain the whole time. It seemed like a bit too, I don't know, challenging, I guess, for an average audience member.
Yeah, that sounds kind of dumb too. But Yeah.
Depending on how it's handled,
I don't know.
it's at least more interesting.
Definitely. Than what they did. What they did was pretty dumb. I mean, the whole concept of the movie was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
It's pretty bad.
But I remember it like building up tension, and then you see the vampire monsters, and they're these really stupid, like CG exaggerated things. Like in that final
It looked
scene,
shitty even when it came out.
yeah, exactly. Like smashing his head against the glass and stuff, and it's just like no subtlety to it. Yes.
Yeah. Popcorn movie, I guess. It's just supposed to be fun. Don't think about it. That's like all of Will Smith's movies, though.
Yeah, it is very Will Smith.
I've definitely noticed a decline in his movies. Like, they're just so kind of dumb. Like, After Earth feels like I Am Legend. It feels like a downgrade of that. Or like Collateral Beauty. Like, I don't even know what that was trying to be. That's like 7 pounds if it was even worse.
I noticed that, is it like a Western that he was in? The movie he declined The Matrix to do. It was like some Western.
Oh, yeah,
the Wild West?
or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that was
Yeah.
out to Netflix. I don't know what it's like.
Wicka Wicka Wild Wild West. He made a song for the movie.
His music career. Not a huge fan of his music.
Microwave Chicken 454 has one for us. What are some great movies with terrible posters? Sometimes you got to proofread these things, guys. These can either completely misleading or just plain bad. Great movies with terrible posters, basically. One that jumps to my mind is actually Lord of the Rings. I don't really like the posters very much, despite how much I adore the movies. I feel like it started that just shoving all the main actors like in a row thing that like all the big blockbusters do now. I feel like you could get way more creative.
Yeah.
I get why they do it, but it's not like the best posters or anything.
I guess the X-Men movies aren't great, but X-Men First Class, that's like an infamous example. I think we mentioned it, of like the silhouette, and it has like James McAvoy's face in the middle. That's bad. The Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, that poster, pretty crappy. Like you said, Alex, the oversaturation of elements, like just a bunch of crap thrown on.
Yeah.
Or like Far From Home. Just looks like the Photoshop is pretty bad too. I don't think Photoshop should be like too noticeable in like a poster.
Yeah, agreed.
Where it just looks like it's a big collage. It just looks very, I don't know, corny.
I've noticed like a few posters that are basically like alternates for movies that are good, where it's like they get marketed in a different country and you see just how another country decided to market it, I guess. There's a Japanese poster for Synecdoche, New York that looks a little too silly, a little too like comedic in
those
tone.
are usually not great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the ones that are like good movies that have shitty posters that are like American though. Usually good movies have good posters, I think. Or at least my version of good movies.
Or at least great movies. Yeah, at least great movies. Like, I'm trying to think.
I'm scanning my Blu-ray shelf.
It's harder with great movies because, obviously the worst movies have the worst posters usually.
Yeah. I know that there's like a bunch of really good movies that have posters that are just pretty generic looking at least.
Yeah.
Right. They're just kind of minimalist or whatever. Yeah, I feel the same way. Children of Men kind of
standardized. Like, I don't know. Like the poster. Oh, here. Fuck, I've got a great answer. The poster for Blade Runner 2049 because it shows fucking...
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
agree
talking
with
about with all the characters like in front of each other.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is spoiled in that movie. It also looks pretty generic on its own, but like, I don't know, the whole marketing campaign for that one, it was not supposed to reveal that Harrison Ford is in it, but they just went against what Denis Villeneuve wanted.
Yeah, that's a great answer. That's a really bad poster.
Yeah, whatever. That's
thanks, Sony.
People. I mentioned Children of Men because it's just kind of Clive Owen on the cover and like text. Like, there's nothing really to market with that movie. It's usually just like, yeah, it's just him.
Yeah,
like, they just put him and they put the text.
silly.
There's nothing. Yeah, that's all. What are you gonna do with these movies?
Yeah, it doesn't really annoy me that much with movies because it is just a marketing thing, So people see, oh, Ryan Gosling's in that. Let's go see that.
I do like a poster being good. It is like a video game cartridge. Like, it makes your mind buzz. So, what's this gonna be about?
Yeah, it shouldn't spoil or be misleading though.
But Tarantino posters are always pretty great. Edgar Wright movies, Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead have very memorable posters, I think.
Yeah.
I was just looking through like my favorites list. None of them are like that bad, you know. And I don't look at any of these like they're bad posters.
It just doesn't get much worse than that First Class one, to be honest.
Yeah, at that point, I feel like I've seen a new
There's
low.
some bad posters out there, but not a whole lot on great movies. I'm sure that there's some that I'm not remembering right now, but
yeah, those posters for like mockbusters.
Mhm.
There's one I saw that was funny. It was like Ex Machina. You know, it looked like the same exact thing,
Oh yeah.
but it was it was like the same exact poster except it looked really shitty. Let's see if I can find the name of it. Yeah, here it is. AI Rising.
Nice.
AI Rising.
Good
Yeah, it's
title.
a bad poster if you want to see.
Oh yeah, that is bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's like a list on Letterboxd, like posters that rip off, you know, other movies. That's like one of them. Like, wow, yeah, that's really bad.
That is horrendous.
But yeah, you could find that list if you want to see more shit like that.
No Place for a Hero has this to say. Does it ever feel overwhelming to edit and store hundreds of gigabytes of footage from movies you hate? I tried making a review of a movie I liked, and I got sick of looking at it after about an hour. I can't imagine sorting through 10 hours of Lion King 2019 bonus features or 9 movies worth of DreamWorks rip-offs without having an utter breakdown. I only ask because Adam seems to have a good time scrubbing through terrible movies.
It was closer to 40 hours of Lion King. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's if I wasn't able to have the, I guess, mental fortitude to go through all that shit, then it just wouldn't be in my videos, right? So like that's part of what separates my videos is that I'm going through so much bullshit promotional material where I'm literally like, I'll look at every single one of these search results on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. Because I want to, you know, sometimes it's hard to find little exploitable moments. Sometimes you do have to dig that deep to find parts that will turn out being like some of the funniest moments in the review or some of the best supporting pieces of information even.
Yeah,
It's fun
I don't know
in
if
that
I've
way.
just got an inverse brain or something, because it's the most fun part to me, is like just finding the stuff, you know, and just going through it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy it too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I had to.
What was the question? Just how do you do it? I don't know.
I was just like, if you like it, like, how do you fucking stand it? I enjoy it just fine.
Yeah.
I like looking through shit. It makes me laugh. Yeah.
As
Like
long
cats.
as it's making me think something in some way, you know? Like, if it's absolutely just straight down the middle, just no response from anything, that can be, like, just incredibly hard to get through, but a lot of the time, I don't know, it just promotes you thinking about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this one then from It's Paul Cruz. What are your thoughts on Jon Favreau? On one hand, I know all of you, especially Adam, were disappointed with Lion King 2019, though after watching The Mandalorian, I'm pretty impressed by his storytelling abilities. And yeah, I was surprised to see him show up in The Sopranos even.
Yeah.
He's got a history of, I don't know, he's done some okay stuff. Chef is incredible, obviously.
I thought it was fine.
Chef's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Chef.
I was lukewarm on it.
Yeah. Memes aside, I think it's good.
Swingers, like, I think Swingers like his big breakout. I like Iron Man. He's got good stuff. Yeah.
He just strikes me as like the he loves the technology side. It's why we got Lion King, but it's also why we got like the Mandalorian. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He's just obsessed with the tinkering and that dome thing he's made for Mandalorian and the Jungle Book and everything. He's one of those kind of directors that wants to push those boundaries, and I don't know, it can work and it can not, but I don't know. I don't completely write him off just because of the Lion King, to be honest, because I think he's good at the kind of campy serial kind of storytelling that does work well for your Iron Mans and your Star Warsy kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even his best movies I found to be good. I've never been like blown away by his films. So, I don't know. He's got some cool ideas. Like there's that whole like gigantic screen room thing in The Mandalorian. Like there's some cool technology ideas for sure.
Yeah, that is cool.
That he gets to work with, and that's awesome. As a storyteller, I'm not like I wouldn't say that he's like amazing or anything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel his stuff usually plays it very safe. It's usually good. I wouldn't even say any of his films are bad, and I haven't seen Jungle Book or Lion King, but they're never like, they never excel in any way. They're never that memorable.
I always forget he made Elf.
Oh yeah, Elf. That's kind of a Christmas classic, but personally, I find it kind of annoying.
Yeah, I was never huge on that movie either. I'm surprised that a lot of people speak so positively about it.
Yeah, people really like that movie, and I understand it. People think it's funny. People like Will Ferrell too. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell guy.
Me neither.
Yes. But he's done like Iron Man. I think is pretty.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Cowboys and Aliens sucks. Yeah, like that's just shit.
Did he direct that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
But like Iron Man is really the technology side of Iron Man too. Like that's a really well made movie, I thought.
In terms of like his directing style, I just like there's so many movies from him that he's directed, and I wouldn't be able to tell you that he was the director without like looking that up.
Yeah.
He's like very bland and generic in terms of like how he films things for the most part. Aside from some technology stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's acted in a lot of things, and he's obviously got his comedic kind of chops, so I guess he approaches it more from that angle.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And I think they're playing it safe. Like, he gets to work on these big franchises and kind of do things like that, because his movies aren't that out there or risky. I don't see, like, a Gaspar Noé kind of director working on, Lion King, because his movies are very risky.
Barry Jenkins.
Barry Jenkins, that is.
Lion King too.
Although I feel like Moonlight is a pretty accessible movie. Like, I thought it was great anyway.
Right.
I mean, maybe not for some people. I don't know. Yeah. I wish I knew what most people liked. I guess Scott Pilgrim, like, I thought people would like that shit. Movie bombed.
True.
All right. True.
Brokeback 112 has one. What's a director you thought had potential but turned out to be sort of a one-trick pony? Or a hack? Can't say George Lucas, too easy of an answer.
Chris Nolan.
Hack or one-trick pony is a bit strong for who my gut is telling me to say, but I feel like Taika Waititi is bordering on turning into that for me. Because I don't know, I really like Boy and Hunt for the Wilder People, and I was loving that side of him. And now hearing that like he's doing a Star Wars movie and he's kind of been swallowed up into the Disney hole.
He's like Jon Favreau now.
Well, yeah. I just hope we can get some more of his like quirky Kiwi stuff again. But I don't know. He's very successful, so I won't take that away from him.
Okay, I've got like 4 directors right here. One of them being Andrew Niccol, who had kind of like a M. Night trajectory with his films. They just got worse and worse and worse. He did have more than one good one, though, so I don't know if I could call him a one-trick pony. He wrote The Truman Show. He directed Gattaca and Lord of War. And then just after that point, just completely just stopped making good things.
In Time?
Yeah, In Time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, In Time. That's bad.
It's so bad.
Adam Wingard, I liked The Guest, and that was kind of... I wanted to see the rest of his stuff, and the rest of his stuff, I noticed...
That's funny.
It's not so good. Yeah, it's not so good. Death Note. And...
We've got Jeff Nichols, director of Shotgun Stories, which was fine. Take Shelter, which I really liked. Mud, which was... a lot of people liked, but I didn't. And
I remember liking Mud.
He's just directing a bunch of bullshit that nobody watches. I don't know. He seemed to have potential.
It was Midnight Special. I noticed it with that, where it's like, he's getting like these amazing casts, and it's just not hitting home, is it?
Yeah.
We got Duncan Jones, director of Moon, then Source Code, then Warcraft, then Mute.
We were talking about movies, like deaf movies, or like a character that is deaf in the movie Sound of Metal. And I just thought of Mute. I was like, oh yeah, that was a movie that tackled a similar kind of character. And yet Mute's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's so really bad.
It's a perfect example of like a director who totally just lost it.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of potential there.
Even Moon, I don't think is incredible, but I liked Moon a lot. And then
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
Source Code is a better film. I thought it was an improvement in a lot of ways. It was more complicated of a story and like execution. But then from there, just like, yeah, completely went down.
Yeah, Warcraft, the beginning.
Yeah, Warcraft, I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to watch it. And then Mute is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. The Duncan Jones.
We get another one here. Dan Gilroy, director of Nightcrawler, then Roman J. Israel Esquire, and then Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah, it's a big.
So he had
down.
one really good
Oof.
movie.
Yeah.
Seemed to have potential. And then just yikes.
Yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw was
Velvet
really
Buzzsaw was
bad.
so bad.
Both of those movies are bad.
Did you see the Roman J? I think I tried watching it.
Yeah,
and
I watched
like,
10.
just
Yeah,
gave up.
exactly. I tried
just so
watching them. I
boring.
couldn't even say the fucking title. Right, exactly.
A movie that nobody watched but got nominated for an Oscar anyway. For acting, I guess. All right, those are my answers. There's a few of them there. But, yeah. There's a bunch. Somebody just makes a good movie and then turns out that was the only good movie they're going to make.
M. Night is, I guess, one.
He had a few.
Mm-hmm. I'd say he peaked early.
Yeah.
Split is all right.
Sarcastidon has one for us. Since you guys all have fairly successful YouTube channels with well-edited content, what are your thoughts on Video Game Donkey's recent stunt to satirize mainstream YouTubers and how this joke apparently helps him get a lot more exposure because of YouTube's algorithms that prefer quantity over quality? Do you guys see YouTube as a sustainable platform since decreasing the quality of your content and just pushing out shitty reaction videos and unedited gameplay footage every day is something that is rewarded by this system?
Exactly. What's rewarded is long content and more of it, I guess.
Yeah, which you can't make unless you're like a mega...
Right.
Yeah,
Whoever
unless you're like
uploads
Jimmy
the
Kimmel.
most and the longest. Yeah, exactly. Or you just upload literally you watching something for 3 hours or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not opposed to. I think that kind of content is actually good. Like having long form content. I think that is a great kind of tool that we should use on this site that like most other things they just won't let you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like TV, you can't have a 3 hour long thing without commercials and but YouTube you can. So it's cool. But yeah, I don't want to see shitty content. I don't want a oversaturation of 3 hour long fucking videos.
Yeah, it's just
That
the
sounds, like,
result of the
awful.
algorithm. It's just, you can't avoid it. If you design the platform to reward certain behavior, that's
Yeah.
just going to be the prevalent behavior.
But as long as I think if you make good content and it's high quality and you put it out there, even if it's not so often, I feel like an independent creator could be okay and make money.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm hoping.
It must be much harder now to kind of first get noticed, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
With that kind of
'Cause-
content.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's just very difficult.
Yeah, everything's oversaturated. But I mean, like, I don't know, the market for what you would call higher quality content rather than just bullshitting out a bunch of dumb videos that you don't care about and that nobody's going to rewatch. There's still a market for that, right? There's certain people who go to YouTube for
exactly.
certain things. There's certain people that go to YouTube for other things. So just because more people are doing one thing and more people are interested in watching one thing doesn't mean that there's nobody who's interested in watching something that you might want to make. So if you're doing your own thing and you're doing it for a reason and you like it, then chances are somebody else will probably like it too. So I don't think it like kills the platform or
No.
makes it so that people who want to do that sort of thing can't operate. It's not like just because the algorithm is incentivizing people to make content that's not like mine, I don't think that means that eventually my content will get phased out of existence. No, there will always be certain people looking for it, even if it's not as many.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's just a concern when, like, the last time the algorithm shifted and it, like, murdered all the animators who used to be... They kind of ruled the roost for a while in the earlier YouTube because it was rewarding the rewatchable but short kind of style instead of now it's more about the watch time. But, yeah, I suppose it's always possible if you find your niche and build an audience. Show me your Bob Z69 as one. Do you sard ass bitches exercise? If so, what do you do?
Yeah. Gotta exercise. I walk the dog.
Yeah, walking's a big
You
one.
run on the treadmill, elliptical, running. Yeah, a lot of running, bike riding, hiking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't lift a lot of weights or do stuff like that.
Yeah, I only really started weight stuff this year because I've always just walking.
I haven't gone to the gym a lot. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the gym hasn't been the most viable thing for the last year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I go on my exercise bike when I can. I play video games while I do it. I've got like entire series of games that I've played just on my exercise bike that I stream at the same time. So like my Dark Souls videos.
you probably burnt quite a few calories doing Shrek 2 with the what's that?
Oh yeah,
game
Beat
with
Saber.
the-
Yeah.
yeah,
fine.
Beat Saber.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
I wanted
VR,
like
yeah.
I was
VR
doing
helps.
Beat Saber for exercise for a while, and then Twitch changed their rules about like copyrighted music and stuff, and so I just like gave
right,
up.
yeah.
It's just like, fuck. Because, like, I don't know, the more fun stuff on Beat Saber is the modded stuff where you can just do whatever songs that people create.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't really play games if I can't stream them. So,
Even if it's like workout time.
well, yeah, I mean, the whole point of me working out while I'm playing a game and streaming it is so that I can justify doing it in my own head. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah, multitask, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I need to monetize this and work out and play video
Ultra
You need to
efficiency.
create content, man.
games. You need to create. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
That's to like check off all the boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used to
I should
love
do it more
swimming,
often.
but
Swimming's fun. Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. But again, like you can't really go to pools at the moment. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah, in the summer
Again.
I swam a lot.
yeah. Null Mother has one about my homeland. How do you all, especially Alex, feel about British people becoming the internet's new favourite punching bag? I don't know, it's probably deserved. There's a lot of stuff to make fun. It's easy to make fun of it, you know? Just British culture is very silly.
Yeah, I don't know. When you colonize like every single country on the fucking globe, it's
Yeah.
like, you feel like you might get like a little bit of just fun jabby memes, you know?
Yeah, the only one that gets me is the accent one where everyone thinks everyone just speaks like a Cockney all the time.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah.
In it, it's
Like a-
Tuesday.
and yeah, that does exist, but like it's not the majority of people. Like I just love to imagine like what like the average American thinks like it is like in the center of London if they've never been there.
We think it's like Cockney.
If you
like
just
that.
if you just
Oi,
base it off
hey.
like Twitter memes, like it's like literally like Sherlock Holmes or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly. That's what I imagine.
I don't know, maybe it is that ridiculous and I'm just used to it. That's always possible.
I don't know. Like when people think Canadian accent, they think of like the most stereotypical version, right?
True.
Yeah.
A boot, shit like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. British memes are kind of funny. I didn't realize it's now been more than usual. Although I guess like
Yeah.
now
I
that,
didn't realize it
now that you
either.
mention, yeah,
Maybe you'll just start noticing it everywhere now.
yeah. I don't know. Like it's mostly just the accent thing. Is what I've noticed. That's about it.
Well, yeah, we do have a pretty funny accent, but Goosey McGooseface 2 has a good one. What dystopian film has hit the nail on the head in terms of how the future turned out?
Blade Runner.
Yeah, you took my answer. That's the one.
It
The
literally,
megacorp
yeah.
thing. Like, I-
Megacorp, giant skyscrapers, yeah, pollution.
yeah, maybe not the flying cars, but
The over monetization, like ads everywhere, kind of like lights and
Yeah,
ads. I picture like
smog
Times
everywhere.
Square. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch.
Dystopian. Yeah, it's perfect.
The
word
Holy
for it.
Mountain. Plenty of scenes in that.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre one.
a bit more esoteric.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're talking about real
No,
things at
yeah.
the same time.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
like that whole sequence where everybody's like getting like these weird body mods and shit, like wearing a mask to like pretend to be somebody else.
Her had a very optimistic view of the future. I wouldn't call it dystopian. For some people, that might be dystopian, though.
Except for like the pollution.
Yeah, there was a bit
Yeah.
of pollution too. Yeah, I guess it's
Mhm.
something you can't really escape.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know that there's ones that like were even being mentioned like a week ago that I'm trying to remember.
Blade Runner is probably the most significant one. That's why it's so remembered. I mean, it is. It is pretty accurate.
Maybe In Time, actually.
Yeah, with everyone trading time around. I'll give you a minute for an hour. You're fucking with me, right?
Yeah, I'm fucking with you.
I'll give you a minute for an hour. Yeah, it's just like ridiculous dialogue. Yeah.
Great dialogue. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I know that there are ones that exist that I'm like gonna kick myself later for not remembering right now.
How about Looper?
Looper? What?
Maybe if we find time travel and then...
I don't know. Like, there's elements of every kind of dystopian movie, like Brazil. Like, there are some elements in that, I guess. It's not completely.
Well, yeah, like Brazil, kind of. It's similar. I don't know. You're right. That's what I meant to say.
White Draper Teller asks this. What are your thoughts on Breaking Bad's Ozymandias? Does it deserve the hype of being the best TV episode of all time? If not, what do you think are the best episodes of TV ever?
Which one is that?
It's up there.
What happens in that episode? Which episode?
I don't want to spoil it. It's one of the last episodes.
We can just say spoilers. We've all seen it, right?
Yeah. Spoilers for Ozymandias. It's toward the end of Breaking Bad season 5 episode, like third to last episode. It's when like Walt loses everything. Hank gets killed.
Walt goes on the run. Jesse's taken hostage. Marie convinces Skyler to tell Walt Jr. the truth. It's a Rian Johnson one, actually.
Yeah, Rian Johnson directed. Also directed The Fly. I like that episode a lot. I think it would be up there for Breaking Bad episodes. Probably best episodes ever. It is very well done. Like the drama.
Do you like The Fly? I never really understood the controversy over The Fly.
Because it's not really.
Because some people hate that episode.
Skip that episode. Basically skip it. It has no
kind of like a filler episode in a way.
Yeah, it can be seen as a filler episode. I think it's very significant in terms of like the character arcs, but in terms of the plot, the rest of Breaking Bad is pretty tight, except for that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Breaking Bad's got a lot of great episodes. Sopranos has great episodes. There's probably there's a famous episode in season 3 where Paulie and Christopher lose like a Russian guy in the woods. That should be considered one of the best episodes ever. Yeah, that's really funny. That episode's really good. And they get stuck in a car and they're eating like ketchup packets.
Yeah,
really funny. Yeah, Simpsons probably got a few.
I don't typically think of shows by episode, I guess. I usually think of them like by season.
Even with Simpsons or like a comedy show like that. Like The Office has really funny episodes. Depends on the kind of show it is.
Well, what about Mr. Robot Ralph?
Yeah, it's like a drama though. Those are so kind of integral. Like you have to watch every single one. I don't know if I have definitely episodes I like more, but I wouldn't just recommend one episode. I would recommend the whole thing.
Yeah, but they do have those episodes that almost feel like a movie, like the one with the mosque,
Self-contained.
And in that last season with the multiple acts one. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's probably the best episode.
Yeah,
episode 7, season 4, episode 7.
The pilot of 6 Feet Under is really great.
Well, the last episode of
Pilot
6
of Lost
Feet Under
is iconic.
Both of those.
Pilot of The Walking Dead.
I mean, it's good.
Pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Got everyone hooked on that show. The rest of the show sucks.
Is it finished yet? That show?
Walking Dead? No, it's still going.
I think they're ending it soon.
How many seasons has it got to? Because I think I gave up around 4 or 5.
Season 10, I think.
Yeah, 11 maybe. I don't know.
Oh my god.
It's still around though.
Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. I do have a favorite episode from that. It's called Universe. And it's got all the fucking hits. Even though it's like a really like ADHD show where it's just a bunch of random skits, it's like that particular episode just has like so many of my favorite ones in it that if you've never seen Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job, that would be the episode to start with. It's in season 4. It's called The Universe. And then on top of that, I don't know. What shows do I like? Nothing. I don't like anything.
God, I'm trying to remember the name of the show you recommended for Sardonicast, Adam. The wacky
Xavier Renegade Angel.
Xavier, the episode with like his I don't even know how to describe it. Like his clone or whatever, his like mirror image. That's a great episode.
I'm gonna watch that as soon as we're done recording this.
Yeah, that's a great
I'm
one.
like, I'm in the mood to watch something fucking really stupid.
Awesome.
And yeah, that sounds right.
That gets me
my
every
alley.
time. Yeah.
It is really funny. The one where they leak the virus in the lake. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. That's one where it's like you, Adam. You remember the seasons? I can't even remember an episode of that show. I just remember like 10-second snippets. Like there is no story. Like I can't remember
imagery.
a single.
Yeah.
It's just like these vague images come in my head, and like no story or anything. It's just like nonsense. It's such a bizarre show.
On similar lines, Jake Wyman says, "What movie do you think deserves a remake as a show or miniseries? As much as I enjoyed the movie and books, I personally would love to see a proper Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series on Netflix Prime or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
I feel this way about a fair few Nolan things, actually. Like Tenet being a recent one, I think could work pretty well as like a mini-series type thing. And the same with Inception, even. It might give it more time, because the character stuff has always been a weakness, so actually giving some time for characters to be developed while having kind of like an intricate plot could be really cool.
That would be very interesting. I would actually like a complicated time travel story like that told in a series. That sounds really
just
cool.
a bit more time.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Because we talked about like, like stories being told over seasons, or like Mr. Robot or Breaking Bad. They tell like kind of, it's basically like a long movie.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool like to add an extra layer of complexity onto that and do like the time travel thing like Tenet does, where you have a story that's like, it goes all over the place and it folds in on itself. Yeah, that would be really trippy.
Yeah, especially if you cared about the characters.
I could totally see Nolan doing something like that. Yeah, it's a shame Nolan's so like devoted to this pure cinema thing, which I get. I love it too because I love seeing IMAX movies. But he could make a really good miniseries. Yeah, he could make like a 10-hour long thing that's really cool and write it. He definitely could. I would like to see something different from him too, because every other director's doing a miniseries or whatever. He's just so adamant against the HBO Max thing. I don't understand, because like those people employ him too, Warner Brothers. they like funded his movies. I don't know why he's so like defensive against it. He could like embrace the art form. I think a lot of people have.
Did you see someone on our subreddit, because Tenet's out on digital now, they whipped it out on their phone and watched it.
They put it like under their TV. Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah. They have like a huge flat screen like right above.
Yeah.
I felt like Dr. Sleep would have worked better as a miniseries. So.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah. There was just like so much more that they could have explored in that universe. And it's 2.5 hours long anyway. And yet there's just so many characters that didn't get properly explored.
Yeah, that was like a soft reboot of The Shining. Like those kind of, I feel like that would almost work better as miniseries or like in a longer form, because you could tell a story a bit differently. You could tell a similar story, but in a much more elongated form. It would kind of add something to it, as opposed to just kind of the same thing again. Like, what are you gonna top? You're gonna top Kubrick? Like, he did that already. Like, just fucking do something. Make it 10 hours long. Like, you can develop those characters so much to where a movie can't even really compete. The Breaking Bad characters are so much more complicated than something you'd see in a movie, just because they have more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The Lion King 2019. As a mini-series. I don't fucking know.
Well, no, you're getting a full sequel for that one. New songs and all.
Yay!
Songs. Like they're going to be as good as the old. I mean,
Pharrell's coming back.
Yeah, Pharrell's back. He's returned. Because he's so important. And just makes everything so great.
Pharrell, like Spiderman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a really great track record when it comes to working on movies.
Minions song, the happy song.
'Cause I'm happy.
He did it.
When's Minions 2 coming out?
Well, it should be out in another timeline. We had that movie already, and everything was right in the world.
Everything went well.
God damn you, COVID.
Yeah.
The rise of Gru. Yeah.
I was really looking forward to that.
I know you're hyped for that, Ralph, so I'm sorry about that.
All right. I guess that does it.
That's all for today.
Yeah, for today and the questions.
Dun,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. They were pretty good.
So I guess we got a movie recommendation from Alex.
Right, it's me, yeah. So I've been a bit torn up on this one because this is a movie I wanted to talk about for a while, and I saw... Only Adam has it rated, so I know he's seen it at least, but I've never seen it, and I'm really curious to jump in on it, and I hope the conversation will be good, and that's for the 2001 movie Freddy Got Fingered.
Nice.
Talk
Have
about
you seen that, Ralph?
No.
Oh, shit.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Awesome. So this might be a good conversation then, because I know very little. I know vaguely what the discussion is like, but I've purposefully avoided it because I always wanted to see it for myself.
Cool. All right. This sounds
Sweet.
fun.
Awesome.
Comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see.
Sweet. All right. So if you don't want to get spoiled for Freddy Got Fingered, 2001, directed by Tom Green and starring and written by Tom Green, then watch it before next episode. These episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can listen to them early by going to sardonicast.com, signing up for premium. Also, patreon.com/sardonicast. Support the show. We got merch also. And yeah, if we recorded this one early, so
is this going up after Christmas? So this is a post-Christmas episode.
Yeah, it is. This is going up after Christmas.
So yeah,
correct.
Hopefully it was a nice Christmas.
Yeah,
Have a happy New Year.
Merry belated Christmas. But if you're probably listening to this before Christmas, if you sign up for premium.
Good transition.
Got him. All right, I'm actually hyped for Freddy Got Fingered. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
It should be funny. All right.
It should be.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks
Bye.
for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah. Take care. Have a good one.